hurting because of how much they're hiding. And you find this many times with women that are in toxic relationships, but they're trying to tell the world that everything's okay. And what happens is you start to minimize the abuse. You start to push it to the side and say it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal that this is happening, that he's degrading and devaluing you behind the scenes, that he's hurting you mentally and emotionally. Then you're the kind of woman that shows up to work and shows up to family events and even shows up for the kids, and there's a piece of you that has it all together. Like has the face of like, hey, everything's fine. Everything's going okay. Everything's functioning the way it should function. And there's many people in your world that look at you and think that you have a lot of confidence, think that you have a lot of strength, and think that you're smart, you're connected. There's a lot of different pieces where they look at you and like, wow, she has a lot of things all together. But inside all of this, you still feel disconnected. And disconnected specifically between your head and your heart. Disconnected between what you know needs to happen and versus what you feel needs to happen. Disconnected of what's happening inside of your world. And you actually find yourself wearing a mask. You step out of the house, and as you go to work, you show up as a producer and you show up a woman that has confidence. That's able to be able to lead her teams. It's able to be able to connect and talk to executives and work through different business needs inside of your world. But when you leave and you're no longer a producer and you step back into your house, you're a prisoner. You take off the coat of confidence and you step into the coat of confusion. You put on the layers of saying, hey, I'm going to be stuck back in the chaos. And then when someone calls, you're like, yeah, I'm fine. Because there's a piece of you that doesn't even know how to explain it. You've tried to explain it to some of your friends, some of your family. You've tried to explain it to different people inside of your world, hoping and thinking maybe they'll get it, maybe they'll understand. But every time you do, someone says, why don't you move on? Why don't you get over it? Why don't you leave him? Why don't you? And the list goes on and on of different well-intentioned advice that people give. But the problem is it doesn't actually shift anything. You have to realize that where you are right now, there's a part of you that is bleeding out internally. There's a person and a version of you that's disintegrating inside. And I know this because you don't know what you like anymore. You don't know some of your hobbies. You have a lot of self-doubt that creeps in. You have a lot of pieces inside of your world that you used to be confident in that you no longer are. There's a version of you right now that's hemorrhaging behind a smile that you're putting out for other people to see. But in reality, it's breaking you down. It's killing you inside. It's degrading. It's devaluing. But more than all of that, it's like hurting your self-confidence of who you actually are because you're lost in the chaos. You're stuck in the confusion. You actually feel like you're crazy sometimes for even still being in the relationship, for even still putting up with it. And this has been happening for such a long period of time that you've gotten used to having to play a role. You're playing a role at work of showing up as powerful and confident. You play a role when you come home as being submissive and quiet, walking on eggshells, trying to wait for the next thing to drop, trying to figure out how do I do the things inside of here to be able to manage my emotions so he doesn't rage out, and to manage his emotions so he doesn't rage out. And somehow, no matter what you do, it never works. You are bleeding internally inside of this relationship. And the hard part is you tried a lot of different things. You might have watched a lot of different videos. You might have listened to different podcasts. You might have started different therapies. You might have started different courses. And the problem is all of those so far have been a Band-Aid effect to an internal wound. You've been trying to patch yourself up from the outside, but the wound that's happening is internal. It's subconscious. It's deep, wired into who you are. Because it's been trained for such a long period of time. He's been conditioning you for a long period of time for you to show up a certain way, for you to act and respond a certain way. The goal inside of what I do is help you actually be free, to heal fully. Because the wounds that are inside internally, the pieces that are breaking you down, the pieces that feel completely broken and shattered, they don't have to define you anymore. They don't have to be the piece that you walk through life where it feels that you're still bleeding out over and over and over as you try to heal, as you try to move forward, and everything keeps sucking you back in. That doesn't have to be your reality anymore. You can actually be free, mentally and emotionally. You see, being free inside of a relationship and outside of the relationship, it doesn't have to do with you walking out the door right now. The fact of the matter is, some of you could not walk out the door right now simply because your mind would pull you back within 10 days. You have to have the internal fortitude. You have to heal internally. You have to work on developing you so that you're able to move forward with confidence, with clarity, with certainty. I want to show you how to do that. I'll walk people through two things inside of Raw Motivations. The first aspect is a healing journey where we have to teach you how to be able to deal with your emotions, but how to be able to eliminate the triggers that he's putting in your world. He's laying landmines inside of your world, and you're afraid when you walk through them that they're going to explode. But the problem is when they explode, it doesn't just give him supply, it also produces a reaction from you. It puts you in a place that you don't actually show up with who you actually are, but who he wants you to be. I have to show you how to stop that, how to actually manage that so he no longer has control over you. We have to teach you how to rewire the subconscious programming because that has been ingrained and conditioned and trained in you for a long period of time, which is why you keep doubting yourself. There's peace inside of your world that you know better, but you keep doubting yourself. We have to teach you how to actually have the confidence. We have to help you actually have boundaries, which sometimes can be as simple as learning how to say no and not being a people pleaser. Not putting his emotions first, but actually looking and seeing what are you willing to accept, because a boundary is not for him, a boundary is for you. For you to be able to say, this is the line in the sand. This is the amount of shit that I'm going to take. I'm not going to take more than this. This is what I'm willing to take. Everything else, okay, now I'm going to make something different. I'm going to choose something different. And if you don't, he's going to keep walking over you. The last big inside of this is helping you understand who you are. Reestablish your purpose of who you actually want to be. This is the piece inside of everything here that I want you to see and understand. If you don't learn how to be able to heal the internal wound, if you don't learn how to connect the head and heart, you run through life disconnected, trauma bond, confused, depressed, doubting yourself constantly. And that doesn't have to define you. There's a version of you that's healed fully. There's a version of you that's healthy. There's a version of you that doesn't believe the story that he's telling you to be. The goal inside of this is to help you heal fully. I want to be able to show you a path. Many of you don't need to consume more information. Some of you have turned into great detectives and great students of narcissism, but the problem is learning more about it won't fix you. Learning and understanding all the nuances and all the pieces and all the subsets and all the different aspects about narcissistic personality disorder. What type is he? Is he a communal? Is he an overt? Is he a covert? Is he like all of those things is great, but you are going to continue to learn a bunch of stuff and not actually have change inside of your own world. You don't need to learn more information. You actually need action and a step-by-step plan. I want to show you how I walk people through that inside of Raw Motivations. So if you're a woman today that's dealing with a toxic relationship, in or out of the relationship, it doesn't matter, but you want healing and you're tired of listening to his narrative controlling your world, having the reactions that you have because of his triggers that he's putting into your world, then this message is for you. And drop a comment down below that says the word breakthrough, or if you want, you can go to rawmotivations.com/breakthrough. It's an opportunity for you to watch. It's like a 9-minute video. Watch a 9-minute video, fill out a quick form, book a free strategy session, or jump inside one of our challenges. That way I can work with you to help you understand what he's thinking, but also how to have you have action inside of your world. When you work with us inside of Raw Motivations, it's not about consumption. I don't care about you learning any more stuff about narcissism. What I care about is you taking action on the things that you actually learn, having tools to be able to process and eliminate the triggers so you can actually heal fully and finally once and for all. If that's where you are today, then this message is for you. Go to rawmotivations.com/breakthrough or leave a comment breakthrough down below and I'll send you a link. Y'all have a blessed, wonderful day. We'll see y'all next time.